Hello everybody, welcome back to another election prediction video. This time we're going over the 2024 House elections for the month of February 2024. So a few more polls have came out about generic ballot. It shows Republicans with a small lead in the generic ballot. However, that doesn't mean a House victory like we saw in 2022. Democrats didn't even need to win the House popular vote and they still could have held the House. And this map's a lot more favorable than it was a decade ago just due to redistricting, Democrats having a few more states that they gerrymandered. It's still going to be a very close fight for the House, even though the Republicans are still leading in it. Democrats actually have a chance at holding it, or no, flipping it from Republican control. Plus, they have a lot more stronger incumbents like Jared Golden, Mary Patola, Perez in Washington State. So they have a lot of red seat House Dems that are just really good at campaigning. They're blue dog Democrats, and they just have good sway with independent voters. So that's kind of the reason that they're keeping this competitive here, even though they're behind in the generic ballot. Okay, so we'll start off with Colorado first, because that's the most eventful state when it comes to retirements. So Boebert, she's not running in Colorado 3. That's probably better for Republicans that they got rid of her, because I would probably consider this race currently, just because Biden isn't doing the best in Colorado right now. I think it'd just be a lean R flip, or no, lean R hold. Democrats don't own this seat for now, but this seat's going to be definitely one of the most competitive ones. The 5th district, I'm putting it down to legally R, because Lamborn, he's not running for re-election here. And again, Colorado, it's just trending blue very, very fast. Colorado 3 could flip, and Colorado 5th would probably get down to likely, I would say. So, because again, Trump only won here by 10. So trends here long term is good for Democrats. Colorado 3 is the most iffy about, but I still think keep going back and forth with this. But overall, just because it's not Boebert running, they have a much better chance here. That's my reasoning for getting it as a lean R seat. Colorado's 8th, it's going to be light and lean blue. I mean, you take a look at how much Biden won this district by, I think, and we have an incumbent Democrat here. She's going to win by a fairly comfortable margin, I would say so. Moving on to the state of Washington. So we have Marie Perez. It's probably a rematch between Joe Kent and her again, and she's the incumbent now. She'll have a lot more ability to win over independent voters, and I think Kent's just such a terrible candidate that she's going to win again against him. In the state of Nevada, we have 3 seats here, but this is a very Democratic, gerrymandered state, so they're probably going to hold most of them. Horsford's probably going to win by a likely blue margin. Titus probably going to win by a likely blue. Well, Susie Lee, she'll be in the more competitive House seat, but still just lean blue. Democrats sweep the board there. In California, we have a whole bunch of seats. Let's just go to the first batch of them down here. So the 45th is probably going to be lean R. 41st probably going to be lean R as well. Again, the Republican-leaning seats, except for Michelle Steele's, but this is Republican trending territory, so I think she's still going to hold on here. She does have a good sway with independent voters in that seat, too. 47th is going to be a very, very competitive seat, but I still think Democrats have the narrow edge here. Mike Garcia, he's always clutched out election victories before, even though he's in a much more Democratic district or so. I think he's actually going to hold on here by a lean R margin, I would say. He won't win by likely because it is a D plus 12 district and Democratic turnout was super low in 2022. But I still think he's going to manage to hold on here. He just has a history of winning. However, Duterte, I think he's kind of done. I mean, it's a very Democratic seat. He barely won last time around. He doesn't have the electoral prowess that Mike Garcia has. So I think Democrats going to flip this seat. And with Valadejo's seat, I think Democrats are probably going to end up flipping it too, because it's just a case of low Democratic turnout in both these seats when they lost it. With higher Democratic turnout and higher Latino turnout, I think Democrats will flip both these seats back to blue. Okay, let's take a look at the whole map. Oregon, I think we'll work from the West Coast as we're just filling in these states. With Oregon, 4th district, it's a very heavy Biden district, and she won by a likely blue margin last time around, probably safe blue. Salinas, I think it'll be about likely blue. She did underperform quite a bit here back in 2022. DeRimmer, she kind of barely won last time in a seat Democrats kind of triaged and gave up. This time they're going to put a lot more funds into this seat, even though it's the same Democratic candidate with higher Democratic turnout. Democrats are probably going to be able to flip this seat, I believe. Could make a case for her winning, though. In Montana's first, Tester being on the Senate ballot will definitely boost up Democratic turnout here. However, Zink, he'll still manage to hold on. It's still a very Republican seat after all. Mary Patola in Alaska, her favorables numbers are just insanely good. And with ranked choice voting, I think she's probably going to win by a likely blue margin in the presidential election. I don't think Alaska is going to be competitive at all. I don't think Republicans are going to waste their time here. In New Mexico, this is another state Democrats have gerrymandered successfully. And where the freak? There it is. I was just like looking through the news and I just couldn't see New Mexico. Okay. So the second district, it's a likely Biden district, and it's a rematch again this time around. And if they weren't able to hold this seat in 2022 in a much more Republican-leaning electorate, I think Democrats going to be able to narrowly hold on in this seat again. And he has incumbency advantage now, so it's much better off for him. In Arizona, it has two competitive House seats here. Cisco Maney, it's a very narrow Biden district, but I still think he's going to manage to hold on here. However, Swihart, I think he's probably going to be doomed to lose re-election here. Again, he barely won last time his seat. Democrats pretty much gave up on winning, so I think Democrats are actually going to narrowly flip the seat this time around, ousting him from Congress. We'll go to Texas next. Okay, so we got 3 House seats in Texas, and they're all in southern Texas. So it really depends on Latino turnout and the margins Trump gets among Latino voters. But I think they're all just likely seats. I think Texas 15 is likely R, Texas 28 likely blue, and Texas 34 likely blue as well. I don't think Vincent Gonzalez is going to lose in a rematch with the Republican opponent who he beat pretty handily last time around, 8.5%. Probably a similar margin this time around. All right, let's head to Nebraska second. So I think Don Bacon is in a pretty decent position. He has a lot of fundraising going with him, and even though he's facing the same candidate he underperformed against last time around, I think he's going to manage to hold on here just with independent voters and Biden's lower margin of victory in Nebraska second currently. I think he'll manage to win re-election there. So far, Republicans are doing pretty good on this map. In Iowa's third district, however, I have this as a lean R hold. I think Zach Nunn's probably going to manage to hold on here, considering Iowa's just going to become a safe red state soon. In Louisiana, redistricting news down there, Republicans have drawn out someone who didn't really endorse the governor back in the primary, Garrett Graves, and this is a D+20 seat. They still haven't updated the map on this website yet. It's a very weird-looking district, but just for its number, LA 6th, I'd put this as a safe blue flip. It's a D+20 seat. I've seen the maps. So it's pretty much a guaranteed Democratic flip. So Louisiana has 2 Democrats now because they drew a new black majority seat. Florida, all of my ratings down there remain the same. I kind of did this a bit off screen. I put some areas as safe R for the Republicans because of Florida's just trends here are just really good for Republicans in the future. It's going to keep getting redder and redder. Probably going to be a safe R state in the future. In North Carolina, Republicans have gained a lot of seats because of their gerrymander. In the first district, they even have a chance at flipping too. But I think Don Davis, with good black turnout, he's going to hold on here still. In the state of Ohio, there's a lot of toss-up seats on the board here. It's possible that, well, after 2024, they're going to have a new map potentially with a redistricting commission. We'll see if that actually happens. But in all these seats, I think Marcy Kaptur, J.R. Majewski is running again, and I think he's probably going to win the nomination, so she's going to luck out to another victory here. Probably by a lean blue margin, even likely blue, if it is Majewski. But I think against most Republican candidates, that long-term incumbent here, Marcy Kaptur, she's going to win another term. So, in the first district, the Landsman, I would have this as it's a very much a Biden district, so I'd put this as likely blue. I think he's going to win by a pretty decent margin as an incumbent. Emily Sykes, this is a real chance at a Republican flip here because Biden's doing pretty bad in the state of Ohio, losing by double digits so far. But I still think she holds on just due to an incumbency advantage. Democrats are catching up on this map, I'll say that. In Minnesota second, Angie Craig. I think she's a proven outperformer. I think she outperforms Biden in this district. Wisconsin's third district, Derek Van Orden. I think he wins by a leaner margin. Illinois 17th, I would put as lean blue. Indiana's first, with higher Democratic turnout, would be likely blue. It's a very much a Biden won district. In the state of Michigan, we got a few seats here. Let's just take a zoom in. So John James, I think he holds on in this district. He is a pretty good candidate. He did pretty well in his Senate races before, but he came close to flipping that seat, but came up short. I think he'll hold on to his House district here. He barely won last time around, but that was because the Republicans just did terrible in 2022 in Michigan. The 8th district, this could go either way, but I still think Democrats have a narrow edge here. However, the 7th district, because it's such a narrow district and Trump's leading here, I have that as a lean R flip in the state of Michigan. So they get one net seat there in that state. Okay, what states do we have remaining? Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Oh yeah, Maine second. Jared Golden, he's a blue dog Democrat. He's quite popular in the district. However, he did come out in favor of banning assault rifles. So I think that'll kind of hurt him a bit. Instead of winning by a likely blue, he'd only win by a lean blue for now. In Connecticut's 5th district, down ballot's actually a very competitive seat, but I still think Johanna Hayes is going to end up narrowly winning there. Pretty sure it's a rematch as well. In Virginia, so VA 10, it's a very much safe Biden seat, so I'm thinking it's going to be safe blue, even though it's an open seat. I think Biden will definitely carry the Democrats here to an over 10% victory. It was only competitive because Hung Kao is a decent fit for the district before, but now he's running for Senate, which I doubt he gets the primary victory. In Virginia second, the Jen Kiggans, it's a narrowly won Biden district. However, with incumbency advantage, I think she manages to hold on here. Plus, Biden's not doing as well as in Virginia as he was back in 2020. In Virginia 7th with Spanberger's new open seat. I think this is a lean blue seat for now. I think it'll be one of the competitive ones that Republicans will probably should target because they could potentially flip it if they do great in Virginia in 2024. In Maryland, that new open house seat because that guy's running for Senate. Pretty sure his name is Trone. Yeah, David Trone. It's a likely Biden seat, so I think it's fair to just rate it as likely blue for now. It could go over 10, though, for the Democrats. All right, let's take a zoom in on Pennsylvania. So they got 3 seats that are decently toss-up. I'd put PA 10th into the lean R category, though. He didn't do the best back in 2022, only 7% victory or so. I think in 2024 it'll be a bit more competitive, and it's a Democratic trending area he's in. I'm pretty sure Fetterman nearly won this district, or narrowly won it. I know Shapiro won it, so I'm going to put it as lean R for now. It's Democratic trending territory. The 17th are Chris Deluzzo. He's doing well in fundraising. He's a popular House Dem. He's populist too. He's a good fit for the district. 7th and 8th district, I think it's really dependent on how well Trump and Biden does in Pennsylvania. So if Trump does well, he could probably flip both these districts. However, Trump only narrowly wins. I could see one flipping and the other one's holding for the Dems. Depends on how much the victories go here. These are 2 seats that are the most competitive. But for now, since I have Biden narrowly winning PA against Trump, I think Biden will probably help out both these candidates here. Again, Cartwright, he's won in Republican electorates before. Susan Wild is in a much more stronger Democratic district, so I think both of them narrowly hold on to their seats just due to incumbency advantage coming in for them. All right, the state of New York. This is the most uncertain map because Democrats could go nuclear here. They could just leave it that there's 4 Republicans in the state of New York, but I think they'll play it a bit safer. I think they'll leave Staten Island intact for now because they don't want to change up the map or risk too much Democratic seats on Long Island or risk a possible redraw again where it disfavors them. So I think they'll leave Staten Island alone for now. We'll see, that could change. I think they'll leave Garbarino's district alone. I think they make Leilota's district a lot more competitive. He'll probably still end up narrowly winning, but they could draw him out too. So that's a possibility. But New York's 4th and New York's 3rd, these are at least likely blue, or if not safe blue seats. They're going to draw out both the Republicans here. George Santos is already gone, and Swazi is probably going to be the Democratic rep here, so he wins by likely blue regardless. Anthony Esposito, it's a very Biden won seat, and they're probably going to reinforce it in the redraw. So these two seats could go to just safe blue straight up. In the 18th with Pat Ryan, I would have this as probably a likely blue seat. I think they shore up his seat and they probably give more Republicans into the New York's 19th district. 22nd, it's most definitely going back to the Dems, probably by a likely blue margin. Williams is a terrible fit for the district, and they're definitely drawing him out for sure. 17th, Lawler, he's probably only going to lose because he's getting drawn out. He probably would have a real chance at winning if it was under this old map. But again, he's probably going to get drawn out here, so I have this as a lean blue flip for the Democrats. So what seats are we still missing? In New Jersey, we have a whole bunch of them, and that'll probably determine House to control back in New York and in New Jersey. But the 5th district, again, it's a very much safe seat for the Democrats. Andy Kim, his old seat, they say it's likely blue. I think it'll be safe blue in 2024 anyway. Tom Keene, he'll be able to narrowly win re-election here. It's a close enough district. He's leading the polls so far. So let's take a zoom out for this whole map. So even though Republicans are leading the generic ballot, Democrats have just the blue dog Dems and Golden, Perez, and Patola. That's the reason they have this House majority. They just have a lot of pretty strong incumbents across this map here, and redistricting is a lot more favorable to them than it was in the last decade or so. And also they got a lot of court wins in Louisiana, Alabama. That's getting them their narrow majority here. So 219 to 216. That's my current prediction for the 2024 House map. Could get better for Democrats if they start doing better in the generic ballot, but so far the House map, I still think it favors them. So that's the current House prediction. It's definitely gotten a lot closer since the last video I did of this. But other than that, that's my prediction. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel already, highly recommend doing so. Leave a comment down below whether you agree or disagree with this video. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.